Hey, what's going on, guys? The Bell Dam is back for a brand new video. And this is going to be a little bit of a tribute slash update on where we are now after, almost after the rise of COVID and the hiatus and the hell and suffering and everything else that we had to go through within the past year. But things are starting to finally look up. Things are starting to finally open up. People are going back to work, and probably one of the best things about movie cinephiles is that the theaters are starting to reopen again, and I'm excited. My theater is going to be open. My theater, I think it reopened just today, because that leads me into this. What this video is about is going to be Spiral. The new Saw movie just dropped this week, and I'm so excited because it's not only a new Saw movie. We haven't gotten a new Saw movie in 5 years since Jigsaw, but it's the first. It's comforting to know that it's going to be the first movie that I'm going to go see for the first time back in the theater. And things are finally starting to feel normal again. We're not quite there yet. We're getting there. But it's so wonderful to know we are getting back to our routines. And I'm going to tell you that one of the things I love doing before COVID hit and we were all thrown indoors was I loved going to the movies. I loved it. I only used to live like about maybe like half a mile from the theater. Of course, we moved a little further down, so now it's about maybe 2 miles for to walk, but it's still relatively close. And I'm excited to go back. I cannot wait. But anyways, I just wanted to get that off my chest. What this video is about is get it back on task, talking about Spiral. So, new Saw movie. I'm excited. I love the Saw franchise. Like any franchise though, there's some good movies and then there are some stinkers. But I really wanted to give my contribution to the buzz of it. Pun intended. The buzz of the Saw. A lot of my friends were talking about it. My friend Chris Snyder at House of Living Dead just did a watch along for all 8 of the Saw movies, and he just saw it tonight. He just dropped his review on Facebook, and he really he thought it was great, which is great news for me, because that gives me hope that it is going to be a great Saw movie. And why shouldn't it be? I mean, like, when it was first announced, we were going to get a brand new Saw movie that Chris Rock pitched and he was gonna star in, and he was a Saw, and he loves the Saw series, which made my heart sing because Chris Rock is one of my favorite comedians. And just to hear him say he is a fan of the series, it just fills me with joy. And then and Samuel Jackson's going to be in it. Sam Jackson and Chris Rock are going to be a Saw movie, and it's going to be directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. It's directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, who directed some of the best Saw movies in the series, in my opinion. And after I go see the movie, I will give a non-spoiler, because I want all of you to go see this movie. I want you all to support it, please. I will give a non-spoiler to my reaction to what I thought about it, what I liked, what I didn't like, what I was, So, I hope I like it. I really hope it. I hope it's a great movie. I really do. Yeah. So. I figured I may as well talk about why I love the Saw series so much. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't see all the Saw movies in the theater. I saw, I think the first one. I might have saw the first one on DVD. I can't remember. Sorry. I saw the second one and the third one in the theater with my cousins, and that was freaking awesome. I saw the and as much as I wanted to, I couldn't get in to see the other Saw sequels because I wasn't, I guess, old enough to see them, which monumentally sucked. So I was so excited and I wanted to see, and eventually I did get to see them. Of course, it wasn't in the theater; it was on DVD. But I guess it's better than nothing. Yeah. So I love this series. Would I go so far as to say I'm a die-hard series Saw fan? Maybe. I do love it, and don't get me wrong, I love the series. But to say, am I obsessed with it? I don't know about that. Like, I could talk about it in great detail with my friends, the ones who are Saw fanatics themselves. But I don't know. I guess I'm just like I'm not gonna say casual fan, because I love this movie, so I don't know. It's kind of I'm kind of in the middle with it. It's just something I like to talk. It's just something I like to discuss with my friends in the horror communities. And I do occasional rewatches of them. So and some are great, some are not. I don't know. I don't know where to go. But I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm looking forward to seeing a new Saw movie in the theater, because I literally have not seen a Saw movie in the theater since Saw 3. And that was in 2006. Imagine that, guys. That's crazy. I'm gonna go see a new Saw movie, and I'm gonna go see a new Saw movie. Not seen one in the theater since 2006. That's insane. But I'm looking forward to it. It's been It's been one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And I hope it delivers. Excuse me. Yeah, so second half of this video is I'm going to give you my ranking of the previous Saw installments. And I'm going to give you a little synopsis on why, or on like, I'm assuming you guys saw all these movies, so you know all the twists and stuff and that happens, but I'll try to avoid spoilers if you haven't seen them. So, I'm just going to go through them quickly and give you my quick ranking of them. So, I have 8 movies here. So, coming in at number 8 is Jigsaw. And the reason this one is in last place because I didn't buy into this movie. I thought it was really boring. I couldn't, like, I watched it a couple times and rewatched it, but I cannot, every time I do watch it, I cannot get into the story of it. It's just kind of a, in my opinion, kind of a dull story, I mean, visually it looks very slick. It's better looking than some of the previous installments, Saw 7. But I don't know. Even for a Saw movie, the story for this one seemed needlessly convoluted. Like, it's kind of, I'm not trying to sling crap at this, but it's almost kind of pompous in a sense. But that's just my opinion. I think it's just a serviceable Saw movie. And supposedly, this might be taken as a prequel to the events of the first one. There's some senses that, or some characters in this that might have been followers of Jigsaw or John Kramer. In fact, that's what I thought this movie was going to be about. I thought it was going to be John Kramer might have started this whole like cult of fans who look at him as an icon, you know, who look at him and see, like, I'm not gonna say a god is the right word, but they look at him as a tutor. They are just so fascinated and obsessed with John Kramer and like all he did. And they went off and just kind of started their own games and built their own traps. And I thought that this movie was going to be about, because it's such an interesting concept. Like, he started this group of followers, but it's kind of like that idea is kind of touched upon, but it's not really focused on it. And that was just ultimately what was disappointing about it. It was just kind of a throwaway story. And I just couldn't get into it. So that's why it's my least favorite. Number 7 is going to Saw 7. Oh boy. I thought I liked this one, guys. I really did. And I even tried to defend it at some points. But there's some stuff in this that it's actually, dude, it's kind of good, I guess. It's like it's almost good in a so bad it's good kind of way, like a bad entertaining Saw movie. Like honestly, I could watch this one and just have more fun with that than I could with Jigsaw. Even though this is probably the better made movie, stylist, like from a uh, visual point, it looks better than this. Like this one's honestly just kind of ugly to look at. It's like it's a very ugly movie, and everything is kind of soaked in this like dirty, this dirty green gray kind of thing. It almost reminded me a lot of like the it reminded me a lot of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the movie. Like it had that kind of color palette to it. And but the gore in this is like the gore is pretty bad. It's like it's almost just excuse me. Yeah, the gore in this is it's not good looking, especially for a big budget movie like this. Some of the acting is off. Some of the acting is awful, but it's not. It's one of the. It's just not. It's not unwatchable, but it's not forgettable. It's like this is not a forgettable movie. It's watchable, and you can have fun with it. This is the kind of movie. This is honestly the kind of movie that you could just throw in if you're marathoning the series. This is the one where you could just like have drinks with your friends and just kind of laugh at it because it's just that bad. And I wasn't aware of like the stuff that was like going on behind the scenes when this was in production. And this is going to be this is actually going to be a two-parter finale, which I wish we could have seen that instead of just like this messy hybrid of ideas like thrown together. For what it is, it's a pretty disastrous ending to the franchise, but it's still pretty fun to watch, in my opinion. Okay, and we get to Saw 5. This one was another one of those kind of boring ones for me. The games in this one were okay, and I'm just having trouble remembering. It's like we get more and more into like Strom's search for Hoffman, and like all that stuff. But that stuff is decent, but I don't know. It's kind of just forgettable. Okay, so I'm gonna try to burn through these. Saw 4. So I don't remember a lot from this movie, except one particular trap, and that involves a rapist, basically. And I just remember how almost disgusting Eric Matthews, Donnie Wahlberg and went out in this. I mean, it was pretty sad to see him go because he was one of my favorite characters. But other than that, I don't remember a lot from this movie. Saw 6. I love this one. This is a solid sequel. Lot of freaking great traps in this. Some of the best in the series, in my opinion, probably since the third one. My God, the traps and the gore effects in this are fantastic. And then the characters are really compelling. Outside of saying that outside of Jill Tuck and all that stuff, but the stuff with William Easton and his games, that's the best stuff in this movie, I'm telling you. It's so good. And obviously they put the best trap on the back of the cover. And that's the reason. That is the best scene in the movie. It's so good. It's one of the best scenes. It's that. That's the best trap. Almost everyone can agree the shotgun carousel is the best trap of the movie. I love this one. It's so good. Okay. Now we're getting to the big three. So number 3, and this might be controversial to some, but my number 3 pick is going to the original Saw. This movie is great. Don't get me wrong. This is a freaking great movie. And for what it was, I take that back. No disrespect. Not for what it was. For how groundbreaking it was. And for how simple yet effective it was in that regard. The reason it's not my favorite, though, is because there's some scenes in here that are a little bit slow, and some of the acting can get a little bit hammy, really hammy. But I don't blame them because it was their debut as an actor. But there's a lot of great stuff in this. This is a freaking terrific, this is the one that broke the doors open for the series. And the ending is great, too, in my opinion. I will not say the ending is not one of the most shocking endings I've ever seen in a movie. And I loved it. It's so haunting, and it's just a fantastic movie. Number 2 is going to Saw 3. I remember seeing this in the theater with my cousins, and I was engaged the whole damn time. And I'm still engaged every time I watch it. It is the longest of the Saw series, but it's certainly, it's one of the great ones. A lot of people don't really like this one, but I can't speak for them. But I freaking love it. It's the traps are so brutal, especially the rack, the ice room, and in my opinion, the most disgusting trap of the whole franchise, the pig vat. I don't think anything could ever top that scene. Not even scene coming up in my number 1 pick. I love the themes of forgiveness in this movie. It's so interesting, and some of the characters you're sorry to see them die, but Tobin Bell is fantastic in this movie. He's great in all these movies. His acting is superb, but in this one in particular, and in my number 1, it's some of my favorite acting that he's done. and he's bedridden the whole time. He can act his ass off from a bed. And he's still freaking good. I love that. I love this movie so much. It's great. And my number one Saw movie, my personal favorite, is going to Saw 2. Oh my god, this is such a good sequel. It's a great sequel. Like, how the hell are you gonna top the original? Well, in my opinion, Darren Bousman actually achieved it. The games in this one, the traps are absolutely fantastic. And even the more simple ones are really, really cringy. Well, not cringy in a bad way, but like, you cringe when you watch them. But the little scenes, besides, like, obviously, classic traps, like the needle pit, and, like, the furnace and the twist ending, and it's, like, so perfect. So fucking perfect. And then, like, but the scenes that really, really stand out to me, or some of the best scenes in the movie, are between Donnie Wahlberg and Tobin Bell. Just their interactions with each other, the conversations, and Tobin's, like, John's game is that if he wants to see his son again, all he has to do is sit there and freaking talk to him, and he will see his son. That's all he has to do. But Donnie Wahlberg's character, Eric Matthews, is such a hothead cop, but yet he cares about his son. He loves his son, and you see that in his performance. And he's so good in it. It's such a good performance. Like, this is my introduction to Donnie Wahlberg. I didn't grow up with New Kids on the Block, but seeing him in this, and then he even gave a pretty, to a lesser extent, decent performance in Dead Silence. But here, like, the interactions he has with John are just so fantastic. This is my favorite Saw movie. I love it. And I cannot wait to see Spiral. And I hope that Spiral can at least have the same footing as these two. Like, I want it to be right up there with these two. So, yeah, that's it. That's my little, like, background on Saw, and, like, my ranking of the Saw series. I'm so excited to see Spiral. I'm excited to give you my review of it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you in the next video. Take care.